Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is RDF, and today's video we're going to have a look at a very intriguing tactic. It's a downloadable tactic. The link will be in the description, of course. The tactic is created by Jamie Taylor. It's a strikerless system, but a very intriguing one at that. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the tactic a little whilst watching some match highlights. We're going to go into Football Manager, look at the tactic of course, and then check the results. Before we do, if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Most importantly, make sure you like this video and leave a comment. Let's get started. Senza Attaccante is the latest tactical creation on Jamie Taylor's website. The tactic Senza is tactically solid from a both defensive and attacking point of view. It is structured in principles, but the whole squad is expected to contribute to each phase of play. The tactic has been tested with PSG, Pescara, Bayern Leverkusen, Boavista and Southampton, all which returned some impressive results. With Southampton, they finished 4th, they were predicted to finish 10th. Boavista finished 2nd, they are predicted to finish 8th. Both teams had no signings, and PSG had an unbeaten season. PSG scored an incredible 152 goals, only conceding 4. PSG won the Ligue 1, Coupe de France, Trophées des Champions and the UEFA Champions League. But now we're going to talk a little about the playing style. The tactic will look to exact a pass and move style of play. It will be designed by taking a high risk approach by proactively looking to penetrate space in the half space when in possession. To restrict space when out of possession, the tactic will use the counter press approach to apply more pressure on the opposition with the aim of forcing mistakes. The tactic will develop attacks carefully by cycling possession, creating pockets of space by pulling opposition players out of position and making use of a shorter passing game, in particular in the more defensive minded areas, with the view to becoming more penetrative in the attacking areas. So now we're going to look at the tactic in Football Manager and of course still talk about the tactic a little as we go through the tactical instructions, the player roles, and then lastly we're going to look at the results before closing the video. So now let's head over to Football Manager. So here we are in Football Manager with Senza Attaccante, created by Jamie Taylor. Don't forget, the link will be in the description below, and when you do click on the link to download the tactic, if you have any time, any free time, just have a look around the website and check out the other cool stuff Jamie has done. So right now we're going to go through the team instructions, then the player roles and instructions before looking at the results. For the team mentality, we are using the positive mentality. The attacking width is set to fairly narrow, so we are going to be focusing play through the central areas, mainly in the half space, but that won't be exclusive. The attacking width is set to fairly narrow. For the approach play, we are going to be playing out from the defense, so by automatic, when your defenders have the ball, your DLP should be looking to come deep to collect the ball. Your central midfielder may follow suit as well, so those two players could be dropping deep to receive the ball from your defenders, and that could make it easier to then build out from the back. The passing directness is set to shorter, so we are looking to maintain possession but not really retain the possession, and for the tempo, the instruction is set to higher. So again, we are going to be playing with a higher tempo but not too high, nothing extreme. When we do get the ball, we are looking to penetrate the space fairly quickly, not too quickly, and that may not result into losing possession too often. In the final third, the only instruction is to work the ball into the box. In transition, when the possession has been lost, the tactic will look to counter press, trying to close down and limit the space and time the opposition have on the ball. When the possession has been won, we are going to be making counter-attacking movements. When the goalkeeper is in possession, he will be taking short kicks but looking to distribute it to the playmaker. Out of possession now, which is very vital. For the defensive shape, we are going to be using the offside trap, so your defenders will look to step up to try and catch the opposition offside. We are going to be using a higher line of engagement, well, much higher line of engagement, and we are going to be using a standard defense line. The great thing about using a much higher line of engagement in this tactic, there are no strikers, so really your line of engagement isn't going to be too high, nothing too ridiculous, nothing again too extreme. The defensive width is set to standard, and for the pressing intensity, that's set to extremely urgent, again trying to minimize the time and space the opposition have on the ball. And we are going to be preventing the short goalkeeper distribution. Whenever the opposition goalkeeper has the ball, your attacking players mostly will be looking to man mark the opposition defenders, making it more difficult for them to play out, and of course trying to force a long ball or a mistake. Now for the player roles and instructions, in goal we have a sweeper keeper who's going to be taking more risk when in possession. In central defence we have one central defender who's going to be taking fewer risks, staying wider and tackling harder, with the ball playing defender staying wide also and tackling harder. On the flanks we have two inverted wing backs, both on the attacking duty, so they're going to be looking to get further forward and sitting more narrow, so again they will be looking to attack the half space, of course whenever the inverted winger isn't. If the inverted winger is outside, then the inverted wing back will come inside, but if the inverted winger is already inside, you will notice your inverted wing back will actually look to stay out wide. So both fullbacks are inverted wingbacks on the attacking duty. They are instructed to shoot less often and tackle harder. Shoot less often is kind of key because they will be getting into good attacking opportunities or good attacking areas, and sometimes they will make a bad decision by shooting rather than holding onto the ball, so I believe that is the reason why we are using the shoot less often instruction. In defensive midfield we are using a deep line playmaker on the defend duty. He's going to be tackling harder. If you are struggling to create chances, Jamie did tell me you can change this from defend to support, so keep that in mind when using the tactic. In central midfield we have no glamorous role here. We are using a central midfielder on the supportive duty. He's instructed to pass it shorter, take more risk, dribble more, shoot less often and tackle harder. On the flanks we are using two inverted wingers. These are going to be the main players attacking or penetrating those half spaces, exactly what the tactic wants. So these two players, tactically wise, are going to be very key players. On both flanks we are using inverted wingers. They are going to be taking more risk, crossing aim at the far post, shoot less often, stay wider to stretch the pitch and tackle harder. Lastly, up top, well, in attacking midfield position, we are using a shadow striker and a trequartista. Now something very intriguing about using these two roles is because of course neither of them are strikers, but they do actually operate in striker areas. So the starting position may be a lot more deeper than you would expect from a striker, but nonetheless when your team are in possession they will be operating in striking areas. Your shadow striker is instructed to shoot less often and tackle harder. Your trequartista is instructed to make more direct passes and shoot less often. But don't be fooled or scared that you are using no strikers. You do still have players operating in those striking areas. So that there is the tactic, the player roles and instructions. Apologies, I don't think I've mentioned this anywhere in this video. We are going to be testing it with Marseille in Ligue 1, and right now we're going to check the results. So let's head over to the results. So as you can see, in the Ligue 1 we finished second. We played 38, we won 30, we drew 6 and we lost 2. Those 2 losses came away to Lorient and at home to PSG. At the end of the season we managed to get 96 points, which is very impressive for Marseille. Marseille are actually predicted to finish third, so we did beat our media prediction by 1 spot. In the UEFA Champions League we managed to get to the semi-finals, which is very impressive, getting knocked out by PSG, which is slightly disappointing. It was expected, but when you come against your league rivals you always feel that you have a chance in this European competition. But we did come up against a very strong PSG and we smashed the board expectations as well. They wanted us to reach the first knockout rounds and we managed to get to the semi-final, 1 step away from the final. In the Coupe de France we were runners up. We did lose to PSG again in the finals, and the trophies as champions again runners up and again losing to PSG. PSG had one hell of a fantastic season, of course. They won the Ligue 1, and in the Champions League they have got to the finals where they will play Manchester United. They also won the Coupe de France and the trophies as champions. They could win the quadruple by the end of the season, so coming second to PSG is no embarrassment whatsoever. In Ligue 1 we scored the second most goals with 71, PSG scored 101. For the points per game we had 2.53 points per game. For the most shots for we had 517 coming in second. Fewer shots against 216 for Marseille, again coming in second. For the best pass completion we are not in the top 8. For the most possession we just make 8th with 49%. For the most tackles won we are third with 884, which is very impressive. Defensively this tactic is very solid. For the most dribbles made we came in second with 143. We had the most clean sheets and the fewest conceded. For the XG in the league, we came in second with 66.35. Goals from corners, we came in joint second with 6. Shots on target ratio, we came in first with 51%, and the conversion rate, we topped that table as well with 13%. Lastly, for the team stats, for the clear-cut chances created, we came in second with 31. For the player stats, for the most goals, we do not have any players in the top 8. For the most assists, again, no players in the top 8. This seems very much like a team effort rather than an individual just dominating the team. You can see by the most goals scored, we don't have anyone. For the most assists, we don't have anyone. For the most shots, we don't really have anyone either. But for the most man of the matches, we have Tolvin with 6. For the most key passes, again, nobody there. For the most tackles won, we have nobody there. But the most dribbles made, again, Florian Tolvin with 55. He was our inverted winger, so again, we can see how key that inverted winger is. For the most clean sheets, Mandanda got 26 out of 38 games. And for the fewest conceded, Mandanda only conceded 14 goals in 38 games. Now looking at the team report for the attacking efficiency, you can see that PSG are clear one of the most aggressive and clinical sides in Ligue 1, but Marseille aren't doing too bad, are they? They were aggressive and clinical. There were only 3 teams in Ligue 1 that were aggressive and clinical, which were PSG, Marseille and Lyon. We managed more shots per match than average, and we were more clinical than a lot of teams within the league. Looking at the general performance, we scored 1.8 goals per game, the expected goals was 1.75 per game, so we were outperforming our XG. Conceded per game, we were conceded 0.37 per game, which is very impressive. Expected goals against was 0.58. For the shots per game, we were getting 13.61. For the shots on target ratio, 51.26%. For the pass completion is 87.16%, and for the tackles won, a very high 81.32%. For the defensive efficiency, there were only 3 teams in Ligue 1 that were quiet and impenetrable, or 4 teams, sorry. That was Marseille, PSG and Lyon, the top 3 again, and then Lille just about making it. For the defensive summary, we faced fewer shots per game than average, and we conceded fewer goals than what would be expected from the number of shots that we faced. But how did we score most of our goals? If we check, 31 were from play shots, 11 from powerful shots, 2 from lobs, 4 from headers, 2 from free kicks and 2 from penalties. For the assist, most of them were from through balls, 26 of them from through balls, 5 from corners, 4 from free kicks, 1 from a short pass, 2 from crosses, 1 from throw-ins and 4 from the opposition mistakes. We are now going to look at the squad stats, see who were the top goal scorers, the best performers for Marseille before ending this video. So for Marseille, looking at the best average rated players, we are looking at Steve Mandanda. He played 56 games and got an average rating of 7.21, which is very high for a goalkeeper. Florian Tolvin played 44 games, he got an average rating of 7.11. Our centre back Pescara, he played 50 games in all competitions, getting an average rating of 7.03. And also for me, Milik, who is a striker, but I retrained him as an attacking midfielder, of course, so he can play in the Strikerless system. He played 35 games, scoring 16 goals, getting 3 assists, getting an average rating of 6.99. The top goal scorers in this team was Milic, of course, with 16 goals. Florian Tolvin got 14 goals and Franco Tongia also got 14 goals. He was actually in the B team. He's a youngster. I promoted him. You can see he's 19 years of age, value only 1.5 million, and you can see he's progressing nicely. But he did start off in the B team. I promoted him to the first team, and what a decision that was. Dimitri Payet also scored 12 goals. So we do have 4 players in double figures, so scoring wise, this tactic isn't bad at all. And like I said previously, it's more of a team effort than one person just dominating the side in terms of stats. But for the assist, Florian Tolvin got 11 assists and Dimitri Payet managed to get 10. Unfortunately though, that wraps up this video. Thank you to Jamie Taylor for allowing me to use this tactic, and don't forget to check out his website as well. The download link will be in the description, of course. My name is RDF. Don't forget, if you have liked this video, if you are new to this channel, or if you haven't yet, make sure you have subscribed, make sure you like this video most importantly, and also leave a comment. I will see you soon. Stay safe. Peace out.